Good morning, traders. Excited you guys are in here today. It is 8:30. I really want to walk you guys through creating a watch list. The process I use each and every single day when I come up in the office around 8 o'clock to prepare a watch list for about 45 minutes. I'll be flipping through charts. It's my favorite thing to do. What can I say? Love flipping through charts. So let's get into it this morning. So first thing we do is we're going to pull up our scanners, Intensity Stockwatch scanners. Whatever scanners you guys have, that's where your charts are presented to you. That's where you find your charts. So let's start flipping through them. First, we got the gap up watch list, gap down watch list, and bear scan watch list. So these three I use mainly in the mornings to see what stocks are gapping up, down, and which ones are overbought. So this provides us with information that is unbiased. It's what is happening. These are stocks that are down. These are stocks that are up. These are overbought. I'm not trying to predict and have watch lists out there that's saying that's just providing me with stocks that I'd like to see move. You know, some people out there, they just like to find the low floaters because they're saying, oh, it's low float market. Some low float stock's going to randomly pop on up. It has no volume. These have volume. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for volume for potential plays for when the market opens on up. But firstly, this is what I do. Come up here and I review the previous day. I review the previous day in my watch list and see, are any of those still plays? For instance, I look kind of at my notepad and I'll see, okay, and we're going to walk through all this morning as well. But first thing I notice is, what have the leading gappers been doing? So on my notepad, I have TLC, MTP, and MBOT written down from this week. It's a great idea to get an overall good sentiment for the market. What's the market doing? What are these stocks that are gapping up? What are they doing? So MTP, for instance, and I like to use the 5-day range. 5-day in the morning gives me good insight into what the stock has been doing the last few days. MTP, I noticed that this stock was our leading gapper on Friday, and it ended up failing. TLC was the stock on Friday, ended up gapping and failing. Yesterday on Monday, MBOT was our leading gapper, ended up failing and fading throughout the day. So I take that and I say, okay, well, these stocks have been fading. They're kind of in that lower float range. What's going to happen with some of these other stocks on the gap up watch list that are in this low float? You see these are highlighted blue, meaning low float. 4 million, 6 million, 5 million, 4 million in the float. And that's kind of what I do in the morning. So I'll say, okay, leading gappers have been failing. What leading gappers are popping on up this morning? And pretty much the same, I'll use that same formula and apply it to those this morning. It's not different. And that's where a lot of people get messed up. They're going to say, well, this time it's different. This stock came out with some good news. Phase 3 trials. It's going to be different, Kevin. I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. We do what the market's telling us, not what we want the market to do. You're fighting a very, very big beast if you're doing that. All right, so next I'm going to start looking at some of the plays that I traded yesterday and some of the plays I didn't trade. For instance, yesterday morning, we were watching PRTY for fade throughout the day. And this is a setup I watch and trade all the time. It's my favorite short setup. A stock yesterday, we were watching this one on Monday because Friday it got very overbought, had light volume, opening up a little bit lower than the highs. And this is one of my favorite patterns because why? We see this surge in volume at the end of the day on Friday, bringing in a lot of longs. Now these longs are expecting a gap up over the weekend. We don't get that. It's very light in volume. So what do I say coming into today? Well, we probably are going to see some profit taken, and you guys have all been there. The market opens on up. They're not getting the gap up. They start unwinding their positions, and the stock fades. This is what happens over and over and over again. We see it all the time. I took XERS yesterday out of the gates. This one kind of consolidated and held today. So this is one that I'm certainly going to be throwing on my watch list this morning. So let's do that. I always write these down on my notepad because I'm watching a lot. So write down today's date, which is the 18th, 2020. And then what I'm going to write down is XERS. Well, I'll write down S for short because I do have shorts here. XERS against PHOD, previous high a day, and 200-day moving average, 200 DMA. So that's XERS. That's what I'm going to write down. Keep it short and simple. KISS Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got to remember that because sometimes I like to get stupid. So that's what I'm watching, XERS. Yesterday, it came up to 467, which I do believe was that 200-day moving average. Yep, came up right to it, 466, and tapped it right here. You see this upper shadow? Came up right to it, tapped it, and now it's coming back on down a little bit. So that's what I'm watching on XERS. Now let's continue through the list. Remember, 5 days. I like to see a little insight. So the last 3 days, I can see XERS has been getting some longs in it. It's been getting some longs in it every single day. I like to see them kind of underwater for a little bit of a sell-off. So XERS, that's what I'm watching. That one was provided to me on the bear scan watch list yesterday. I was watching it yesterday. I traded it yesterday, but I'm still keeping it on watch today. So we'll continue through the list. WKHS has been on my radar for the last 5 days as well. Now, why is that? Because this one has been literally playing like a fiddle. WKHS, let's look at the daily chart on it. WKHS has $15 support, and look how many times it has literally been spitting out money off of 15. Way back in here, once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now let's just zoom into the last 5 days on WKHS. It's literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Every single day comes down and under 15 a little bit. Market makers usually bring these down through the whole dollars. That's a psychological level. It's very easy to type in 15 into your level 2 montage. So with that being said, it's a psychological level. Most of the time, these happen fast and they come through whole dollars. And this is what we see, WKHS. So I'm still keeping WKHS on watch. Support 15. So I will write that down on my notepad. L for long, WKHS, 15 support. All right, now next, let's continue through the list, and we'll just keep it going. Keep this party going. So yesterday I was watching BDSI, so I'm still going through yesterday's list that I had, and we'll pull up BDSI, and what do we see here? This is why I have the 5-day pulled up. 550 is still holding up as very strong resistance. We saw 550 hold up on Friday, 550 hold up yesterday, and let's look left of the chart. That gives us great insight into BDSI. We always look left of the chart. We always do 3 different types of analysis as well, and I'm going to get into that once we start going over some of the gap ups. Is we do technical, fundamental, and trader analysis. Technical involves looking left of the chart. That gives us great insight into the chart. And we see 550 has been held up several times in its past chart history. Very strong level of resistance. So that is an area I'm watching many key areas of resistance at that 550. So I will write that down on the watch list this morning. Short, BDSI, 550 resistance. All right, let's continue down the list. Now let's get into, well, yesterday actually I was watching UBX. UBX was a stock that came out with very bad news. The stock went from $13 down to $3. And I've been watching this one. It's at all-time lows. But I'm watching this one for more panic. For a little scoop, I just want this on the back burner just to see more panic. Buy fear, sell euphoria, rinse and repeat. What do most people do? They buy high and sell higher, which most of the time doesn't work. They're buying breakouts, then they turn into fake out breakouts, blow up the account, or they sell low and hope lower. We're just doing what the opposite of the 90% do. So UBX, what I'm going to do here is write down long UBX. And then just panic. So that's all I'm writing down on UBX. Just back burner play right there. That's one I've just been watching for a few days, so I continue to keep it on the watch list. So I'm always familiar with it every single morning and familiar with what it's doing. Now, this morning, what am I doing? I'm reviewing tickers. So I'm just flipping through charts nonstop. For instance, I'll just start flipping through charts. Like, for instance, RDEDU on the Bearskin watch list. I already know. I've already looked at CMEG. That's where I trade. CMEG DOS. I don't have shorts here. I could locate. But most of the there's always stocks to trade out there. So most of the time, I just initially avoid the ones I have to locate. REDU is an overbought stock, but I got to locate it. So I'm just going to avoid that one. Next one, LXU. This one's $25 million. The flow. I like this one. It's a little quiet. And you guys know I love fast moves up through whole dollars up to 320, up to the 20s. 20s are magic numbers. If you guys pay attention to that level, it happens all the time. Break through whole dollars, hit the 20s level. This one I was watching this morning nearly around 3. Now it's already back down to 273. I'm not going to sell into fear, short selling when it's lower. I want to short into a pop, risking off of 320s. That's the previous close, previous high day. We have this volume surge into the close of the day. Now this is very similar to what? PRTY. PRTY, look at this volume surge coming into the close of the day on Friday. Then we see the fade all throughout the day on Monday. So that's exactly what I'm looking for on LXU. Want to pop up towards 320 and fade this thing. Got overbought yesterday. Not only that, let's take a look left of the chart. Do our technical analysis. 320 is going to be pretty solid resistance on the chart on LXU. So with that being said, I'm certainly going to be watching that 320 area. Want to pop. I always like shorting into pops or buying into panic. So we'll see if we get that on LXU. And I'm going to write that one down. I like this one. I have shorts. Short LXU. Risking kind of previous close and 320-ish. Over, under. So that's the idea. I always trade these over, under, meaning sometimes they break and then they come right back up, right back down through 320. We see fake out breakouts all the time, so I'll wait and see if the move's going to sustain itself or not. For instance, WKHS, this whole week, 15 as support, but I'm going to trade this over under every time because look, breaks under 15, pops right back up. Breaks under 15, pops right back on up. Under, pop, under. This one came a little bit further under that and then pops right back on up. So I always trade that over under roll. You guys should probably do the same because a lot of you, including myself before, would get stopped out. Like, for instance, MTP. Look at this one. If you're risking over the previous high day, let's say you're short on this and you're risking over the pre-market highs. You literally top ticked it. Wait and see if they're going to hold. It's usually a really good indicator. Now, let's go through some of our gappers. So what I look for with the gappers is, we just went over MTP, MBOT, and TLC from this week and Friday, and everything's been failing. MICT is already failing. It's getting heavy on this 90 MA. So this is what I go through. I'll just kind of review some of these leading gappers. Most of the time, I do not trade them. Ford, solid pop on it. Then it's already selling back way on off. Most of the time, I do not trade these, but I do like to review them. RESN just popping up right now. So what I'll do with the leading gappers is pull them up and see what's going on, and then click on the live news and see what's going on here. Achieves technological breakthrough. So I kind of just look at the headline. I never really dig into these PRs. I just kind of look at the headline and see. That's kind of my fundamental analysis. Fundamentals are usually fundamentals. Fundumb. Most of the time, they're pointless to really look at. And what's funny is most of the time people end up, trying to trade these for a very short-term position. They're just trying to scalp it. And then what happens is they turn to a bag holder. And then that's when they look at the news. They're just looking for a scalp to begin with. Now they're long-term investors, and now they're getting interested in the news. Just look at the headlines, see what's going on. Most chat rooms are just looking for these headline words. Breakthrough successfully manufactured, or some of these other ones. What's popping on up? MICT, 4 million float. Nearly half of that, over half of that, traded already in pre-market. MICT shares double on first significant order for SmartCam. So these headlines are strategically placed to bring in chat rooms so that other people can dump their shares. So most of the time I just end up not trading these. But what I have been saying and what we've been seeing in the last few weeks is if you're going to trade these, the best time, at least on the long side, is going to be in pre-market. Most all these moves have been happening in pre-market. That is the time to trade them. And then when the market opens, flip short. It's all about understanding what market conditions are telling us, not what we want to tell the market conditions. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll go back to my notepad and write down kind of the leading gappers and then say what's been happening. TLC, MTP, MBOT, Leading gappers failed. So those have been kind of the leading gappers the last few days. So that would be the idea going into the rest of the week until we start seeing some of the leading gappers sustain their moves. So this is going to be the watch list. I've already reviewed a lot of these stocks this morning on the gap down watch list, on the bear scan watch list. If I like the setup and don't have shorts, it's not going on the watch list. If it's a liquid, if it's spready, really not going on the watch list. For the gappers, I don't really enjoy trading those that much because of what we've been seeing with the market conditions. So I will be avoiding those going into today. So I'll really narrow in this watch list, and then market opens, get to trading. So I'll load these charts up, which is perfect. I have 6 level 2s and 6 charts loaded on a couple other monitors. So I'm ready to go with XERS, WKHS, BDSI, UBX, and LXU. I'm going to be watching all 5 of those this morning. That's how I do it. That's how we do our pre-market watch list every single morning. Wanted to help you guys out so you were well equipped to create your own watch list each and every day. Maybe I provide some helpful tips for you to create a little bit of a watch list yourself. Now, traders, let me know if you have any questions at all. If you want these scanners, 30% off in the description below. Love you guys. Hit me up via email if you have any questions, need any help at all. Always happy to help. And as you guys know, this is the Everyday Trading Team. Let's get it. We'll see you guys next time.